From Demon Souls to Elden Ring, the franchise has a strong following from casual to superfans. Whether you call them Souls games, FromSoft games, Soulsborne, Sekiro Soulsborne Ring, one thing is agreed upon: everyone loves the bosses. You can find countless videos of YouTubers ranking their favorite FromSoft bosses, whether on a tier list, in ranked order, or other ways. But what if there was a tool to analyze and aggregate all these rankings from different people to determine which one is truly the best? Well, now there is. I introduce to you all Dark Souls Boss Ranker. To demonstrate just how intricate this website is, I'm going to use it to analyze the tier lists of some of the veterans of the Souls community. Today, that veteran is Jeff QED. Jeff's tier list video covers all the games from Demon Souls to Elden Ring, which is a great dataset. Unfortunately, Jeff did not use the official Dark Souls boss ranker, so the tiers he uses don't match up perfectly to the official site. The first thing we need to do is translate them. The official site goes from F to S and has an F- and S+ for those truly exceptional bosses. Luckily, Jeff's tier list also goes from F to S, including a minus and a plus in each tier. This means that we can directly translate all of his rankings into the official tier list, just having to split the F and S tiers into their plus and minus versions. With all the tier lists submitted, let's really get into the meat and potatoes, the statistical analysis. Jeff had 11 bosses in S+ tier: Midir, Freed, Demon of Hatred, Radon, Millennia, Sif, Gwyn, Ludwig, The Dancer, Orphan of Kos, and Nameless King being his top 11. He had 14 bosses in F- tier, with 6 being from Dark Souls 2. His tier list distribution peaked at the E and D range. Judging by this, Jeff would probably say that the median FromSoft boss is lower than the average, meaning that the overall quality of the franchise bosses are skewed upwards by a minority of super amazing bosses. His overall quality by game shows that Dark Souls 3 stands comfortably above all other games at an average ranking of B+ tier. Elden Ring comes in second at B, and Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls are tied for last place at D-. Jeff rated single enemy bosses a tier and a half higher than multi-enemy bosses, so it's safe to say he doesn't like gank fights. He rated DLC higher than non-DLC, and humanoids higher than non-humanoids by slightly less than a full tier. He doesn't have a preference between dragon and non-dragon bosses, both having the same C rating. Same with optional versus non-optional bosses. He did, however, rate reskin bosses a full tier below non-reskins, something that most people would agree with. Finally, multi-phase bosses are at a solid high B, with single-phase bosses at a D-. I ran a quick analysis on these 5 preferences that he had to see which bosses fit his typical type. The bosses who matched all 5 are shown here. Interestingly, while these 5 requirements are his preferences, combining all of them excludes almost every boss he had in S+ tier, leaving only Orphan of Kos as being consistent with these extracted preferences. These filters also included bosses like Burnt Ivory King and Half-Light Spear of the Church, which were D and E tier respectively. I wonder what it is he doesn't like about those fights despite fitting his usual preference pattern. Based on his preferences and his high average rating for Elden Ring, I think he will be very pleased with the boss quality in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Only time will tell how he and the rest of the community feels. If there's another YouTuber whose tier list you want me to analyze, put it in the comments below. Thank you for watching.